Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's Wargame World, and we're going to paint some French World War II figures. And I already I got the Zulus sealed with a spray paint sealant and based. I bought these from Mr. John at the Gettysburg Miniature Shop. Most of those are Conti figures. The War of 1812 figures in the back. I got them ready for a Battle of North Point right here in Baltimore. So we're going to just do a little chit chat time and get our little mini tripod set up. And there we go. I think that'd be good. Let's see if it falls over or not. I'll tilt it up a little bit more. There. Okay. Well, so we're doing a little bit of khaki. So this is what I've done so far on these. I spray painted them gray. Then I did a light medium brown. When we're all done with these, I'm going to dunk them in black, 50% water, 50% black paint, and that will give it its shading. I have issues with my eyes, which we bark about once in a while. Jim Shaw paints a lot of my figures because my eyes are not the best, and also I don't have the best painting skills. So there's something like 15 figures here, and I'm only doing about 3 colors. So the idea is I think I can get these painted enough for me to use it for my own basement games. You know, they won't be Jim Shaw quality, but they'll be good enough for a Bill basement game. The reason is I've recently obtained some really cool early war armor. I've gotten to several pieces, and Ron the Pretzel Snyder King Prowlman, famous movie star from Gettysburg and Ted Turner Productions. So I don't have any French at all. So I decided Josh is printing me up some more French, and they are going to be used for the 3D printed French aren't regular. He's doing some regular infantry, but he's also making a machine gun team, an anti-tank rifle team, and a machine gun. So there, I just threw some khaki on there, and I'm going to paint the rifles next, and then I'll hit with silver and I guess a gray bedroll, and that'll be it. Nothing fancy. And my goal is to have these done tonight to be dunked tomorrow in the black paint. So that's the plan. So these are armies in plastic. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. These are armies in plastic World War I. But you know what? They say that these will work fine for World War II, other than the rifle isn't quite right. But who is going to check, especially in my basement? Maybe Walt Leach would. Walt's in Europe right now, by the way. And at the Toy Soldier show, it was great seeing so many wonderful people. I couldn't believe how many nice people were actually asking me about um, how 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 the Chuckleheads were doing, and Joseph and stuff in our wargaming group. You know, people watch the Chucklehead videos, and it is sort of funny how we get bantering at times about things. But I'm very fortunate to wargame with several different groups, the Hawks and the Chuckleheads, and it's really neat. I had that talk with Josh. It's on the channel about forming your own wargaming group or the ups and downs and the perils of that. And, there's a lot to be said for camaraderie and also personalities. There's people who I am sure think I'm crazy, with Goober the Traveling Bear, for instance. But for my entire career of almost 40 years in the food selling industry, I have had to use cartoon characters to sell our product. I was with M&M Mars for many years, and then I went to General Mills. And as you know, the M&M Mars characters and also the General Mills type characters, the Honey Nut Bee, Pillsbury Doughboy. So I thought I could use a ratty old stuffed bear that's 40 years old and help promote history. And believe it or not, I think I do. And we're at $87, by the way, for raising money for the CSS News homeschoolers. We have a few more days to go. Hopefully we will get to, I'd like to have $100 for them, but now I've been cranking out a lot of videos, but I don't really think I'll ever top all the great videos from Historicon. James Purdy's incredible Pickett's Charge really helped with a lot of views, and me walking around the convention hall all the time making videos did a lot too. So, but it is what it is. And, I'm not asking people to send me money or anything. All I'm asking people to do is watch my channels and maybe get entertained. I had someone that sent me a note last night that they really have gotten motivated to get back into their wargaming stuff. They sort of got away from their figures and stuff, and older gentlemen. So that was a neat email I received. But just so everyone knows out there, there's getting to the point I can't always answer all the messages I get. It's really a blessing that I have so many nice people willing to write to me, but I'm also having the problem between both channels that I can't always answer everything. And when I started, and I still don't know what I'm doing, I just goof around, but I'm just an old chubby guy trying to promote history, maybe helping someone get off the couch. I could be right now watching the shopping channel with my wife and trying to make sure I take the remote away from her. So the QVC or whatever it is, and see what crazy things arrive at the house. So sometimes she buys very interesting items that we really don't need off that TV shopping network. So, she was very good to me, and she, I was away all day on Saturday at Fort Frederick and Fort Loudon and Gettysburg with Kevin, and I didn't get home till real late, and she was just fantastic about it with no problems. And then I was up at 5 in the morning on Sunday and skipped church to be at the Toy Soldier show. So we're I hope you watched my Toy Soldier show video. I put a lot of time into that, and it was amazing to see all the wonderful toy soldiers and nostalgic stuff. I think you have to be older to appreciate it, though, because you had to grow up with the Marks figures, the 54 millimeter Marks, like I'm painting here. So we're doing this khaki color on these leggings, and the plan is to try to get these done tonight. If my eyes get weird, I'll have to stop. But so we're going to be in our Virginia home, and this coming weekend, I think I have a couple Wargamer friends maybe coming over, and our wonderful neighbors. We have wonderful neighbors there. It's just amazing living out in the country, how much different it is than living in the city. So our I don't know, it's I think the pressure of city living with crime, and then you have traffic. So now these French soldiers, just in case somebody's out there with an Osprey book, I quickly pulled up a couple pictures, a quick YouTube thing. I saw they had deep brown uniforms in World War II and sort of a khaki colored leggings, and then brown or khaki web gear. So now I can't paint the straps on these. Um, I would be going, I'd be getting a migraine headache if I tried. So as you know, I'm doing what I can do to make them good enough to go on the table with my early war, World War II. I have some British, and my plan is to do, I have some really cool armor, as I said earlier, and we'll just have a couple early war scenarios. Everyone wants to fight with tigers and things, but as I've gotten older, and I've actually watched a lot of early war type movies have come out. April 9th, I think it's called, and a couple Poland movies. So it's just neat to explore early war stuff, because so many people are doing World War II, but in the European theater or the Russian theater, um, more so in the later war where you get all the cool tanks, I guess. The T-34s and the Panthers and Tigers, of course. So, well, already we're looking better. At least I think so. Well, this is the last of the gaiters and the little bit of belting I put on these. And it's amazing when I dunk these into the black water wash, that wash will seep into all these creeks and crevices and it really makes the figure pop out. It gives it a much more three-dimensional look, and most of all, if you're a bad painter like myself, it will fix a lot of mistakes. And for 15 figures, I decided I can add enough color to these that Jim Shaw, I didn't need to take them to Jim's. Now the figures that Josh is making for me on his 3D printer machine, I think those I'm going to take to Jim's. So, all right. Well, we have done the khaki stuff. I think our next thing will be we're going to use some brown. Let's make sure it's a different shade of brown than their brown uniforms. We're going to hit their. We're going to see about hitting those the guns. I do have black and silver. That will. First things first, we're going to put some brown paint out here. And so in a couple hours time, we're going to grab this figure here. Now that brown is pretty darn close to the other brown. So, in fact, they almost look identical. They almost look identical. So I could not paint the rifles on these. I could just do silver on them and save me a lot of time. And instead, so I'm sure someone like out there who is extremely particular on their figures would be saying, oh my goodness gracious, that's horrible, Bill. But you know what we're going to do? We're going outside the box. We're getting out some Gray Fox, some Gray Fox Gray. Let's see if it pops open okay. So what we're doing, we're going to let those. Now this gray is weird. Let's see how it works. All right. We're going to put that first figure back. We're going to take this one here. So we're going to hit this blanket roll. And all we're going to do is give the blanket roll some gray. That's right. So look at that. And then I'm going to hit a couple of these bags with some gray. Now I'm going to take my silver and we're going to take the silver and we're going to hit the top of the barrel of this rifle and his bayonet. So we added some gray to him. Now the one that we just painted his rifle, we're going to do the same. And they say for every color you add to a figure, it enhances it by 25%. So I once saw a video where someone said if you do 5 colors, it really makes a difference. So we're going to add a little color to these bags. And what's neat is I don't have to really worry about these being in a convention. And if they were, there's enough people I think that know me that will have a good time at my table, but not make a big deal if the figures aren't perfect. Don't you think? And also, you know, life is very short. Yeah, we're going to leave those rifles the same color as the uniforms. And we're just going to live with that. And we'll put some silver on the barrels. But, and I think that'll work fine. And these bedrolls coming out with gray really stands out. Very, Very nice. So, how do you paint your figures? Are you very detail oriented? I know, there's incredible figures out there. I mean, Jack Brendel of our old wargaming group in Gettysburg, he was a phenomenal. He's a phenomenal model maker. Just the detail he would go into for making a building or a church or painting figures. He was unbelievable, and yeah, he was responsible for a lot of the buildings in the Great Stalingrad game we did for the Gettysburg area gamers in 2009. Now that really stands out doing that bedroll. So I get some silver on these rifles, and it's gonna they're gonna look pretty darn good. Yeah, we're hitting a few of these bags, and there's no way in heck I can do these straps. So if my eyes get too tired, I get double vision even with the extra glasses I wear, and I'm fighting that beginning stages of the macular stuff. Now this figure here I got talking to you, it was George's fought in New Jersey, or Ronald McDonald in England. I am truly amazed how many wonderful people watch my channel overseas. It's really amazing that I have people that are watching some old guy in his basement painting these figures, wargaming, whatever I might be doing, and that's I really appreciate everyone that watches my stuff, and hopefully I make a couple people laugh with my nuttiness too, with the chuckleheads and all, and so adding a little. I don't know if that should be silver or what, or tan. I think it's a tan um, water bucket, if I remember right. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who could tell me if it isn't. But I think I remember it being a collapsible bucket. Oh, as we continue our painting of the backpacks. Very, that little bit of paint here and there really helps make these stand out. That's for sure. And when I'm all done, I'll seal these in a sealant. I might even put them in the polyurethane dip. It takes a little longer than just spray painting them with a sealant, but the spray paint doesn't always last as long. So we're just plugging along. Trusty French troops. So this is that crappy machine gun that the Americans got stuck with in World War One. Had the open feed magazine to tell how much ammunition was in it, but instead it would get full of mud. It's you can see the oval magazine at the bottom, and you're supposed to be able to see how much ammo you had left, but it didn't occur to anyone that in the trenches of in the dirt and battlefield, it would get all full of dirt and jam up. There we go. We're going to have to paint that machine gun black, because that's pretty much all black metal. So, as we cruise along, how many of you out there are doing early World War II? My question for y'all, if you're still watching, I'll ask Joe. He might still be watching. He's in our wargaming group, and he's not feeling the best, so he's been watching my channel. How many of you out there think I should do a early war game next, or do you think I should do another Zulu game or the War of 1812? Pretty much got my wargaming basement cleaned up. I got artwork on the walls too. We're coming along on that. I need I have concrete cinder block walls in here. I have a Remington 22 caliber nail gun. He actually shoots uh, a 22 caliber blank into basically a gun that shoots the nail into the concrete. However, I'm not allowed to do that anymore when my wife is home. So the other day I was able to get away with a few when she was shopping, but I got to wait till she's out of the house for me to do it anymore. For some reason, she doesn't like the loud gunfire in the house. Sort of funny. Some of you can laugh at that. I should have warned her when I was doing it the last time. I didn't realize she would sort of freak out like she did. But it was all in fun. It did make quite a bit of noise in the basement, I will say that. Especially since I think I did 4 altogether. But these, now these aren't perfect. So Jim Shaw, if you're watching this video, just so you know, once I dunk these and they get some shading in them, and then I flock the bases, they really won't look that bad. Throw some silver on these guns, and we'll be doing pretty good. So, all right. Well, we got gray for 2 more. So we'll pause the camera here for a moment. All right. Well, we have all the gray done. I just opened up the black paint, and we're going to do a couple weapons that need to be black. So we have a pistol we're doing, and there we go. So we got his pistol done, and then we have 2 light machine gunners. Here's one. So we'll just zap the light machine gun. And I prime these. First of all, I washed them in Dawn dishwashing detergent with a scoop full of OxyClean clean stuff too. So they, I find of all the 54s, unfortunately, Armies in plastic seems to have the worst for their release residue getting out of it. So I go through great care to really clean my Armies in plastic figures good. Now, that doesn't look too bad, does it? And then I do a gray Krylon gray primer. And the reason I use the Krylon made for plastics is it really helps to stick to the plastic. Okay, and then I spray paint with another Krylon paint over the gray primer, the main uniform color, which for this I chose this nutmeg brown. We use nutmeg brown. There. Those light machine guns came out nice. I'm you just keep adding color. So that's all the black I'm doing. There's no way I can do any belts. So the next thing we're doing is silver. And all I'm going to do is hit the bayonets and a little tiny bead on the backs, I think. All right. So we have our silver paint and start right with this figure here. And I'll get this bayonet done. Okay. And there. Okay. And we're going to start him off to there. Now, as I keep painting, see, I'm amazed at the quality of wargaming stuff that comes out nowadays. It really is amazing that everything from buildings and so forth is just really cool. There's just so much out there that you can buy, and 3D printers, and so it really is just so much out there that makes the hobby even cooler. I got Donald Featherstone books where he actually has whole books on just how to make toy soldiers and molds in your house, and pictures of him over the stove melting lead to make armies. Not a lot of people willing to do that now. So that's quite a... So I don't know if you can hear the pitter-patter of dogs upstairs, but we have a whole house full of cats and dogs. All rescues mostly from my wife's world. And this silver is going on really nice. And by the way, I'm just throwing this on. Nice thing about 54 millimeter figures, people don't expect these to be perfect. And but I actually am quite happy with how they're coming along, especially for me. Now this guy here, he's having a bad day. He's being shot right through the heart, it looks like. But we'll just continue on with our silver paint. And there we go. Quite amazing. We have a figure without a bayonet. I think it's the first one we've had. Sort of cool how putting this group together using bolt action rules. I'm using Ron's bolt action adjusted for 54s. And I think I have to write to him and see if he had any changes since I was at his house last. I had such a good time at his home. I just haven't been able to get back. Between making history videos and 2 houses to deal with. But my wife has been doing much better health-wise, so that's really been a godsend. So I'm quite happy with how these have come out. So I got the silver on everything. And no, I didn't blue them or paint the weapons black. I went with silver bayonets with a little... And so we're going to pause the camera here. Okay. Well, we are mixing up our brown black paint. 50% water, 50% black paint. There you go. Now, we're going to take a figure like here and got our pliers and we're going to dunk him in there. So, as you can see, he now has, you could look at the gaiters, the leggings, the paint actually gets in there and dries. And it transforms this. And what's really cool is it will actually pick up the creases of the belts and highlight them. So it looks like I have painted the belts a bit, which we know I did not. So, and I do a couple ups and down dunks. So, there we go. And so once this is done, tomorrow I'll take them out and spray paint them with a clear sealant. And then that sealant, the next step after that will be to block the bases. These will actually be able to be used in within the next day or so. And this black wash, let's see if we get in closer. You can see how it's seeps right in to the nooks and crannies. It's really quite a neat process. And for someone like myself who doesn't paint well, it's a godsend. So these 15 figures, they didn't make it to Jim Shaw's house, and his painting is so much better than mine, but these will work on the table. Now, how about you at home? Do you have some stuff that's been sitting in the basement and you're not working on? Because maybe this will motivate you to hop off the couch too and um, get some figures worked on. I'm quite happy with how they're coming along, and they're and with the water, it's the black doesn't become overwhelming, and I can do more redunking. We'll see. Um, let's get a close-up of somebody so you can see how it gets seeps into these crevices. So it's really pretty cool. All right, so I did this in less than 2 hours, excluding the spray painting part. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and let me know if we should do an early war game. Zulus will not be ready this week, or War of 1812. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Thank you for watching, everyone. And this video is helping to support the homeschoolers at the CSS News Museum in Kinston, North Carolina.